Oh, morning, good morning, good morning. It is, what is this, Wednesday, December 14th, about 3:22 a.m. Got a beautiful bright moon out tonight. There it goes. Oh, okay. I took as you've seen in the my last video, I took my second day of the salt and soda radiation detox bath, along with the eliminate AI nanobot video. Just reminding y'all, I listened to that video on loop. I had on headphones, but I think it could be just as effective if you're listening to it from the speaker. But I use these air tube headphones. The air tube headphones, one, they're in ear, so they basically create a barrier inside of your ear canal, so that it somewhat kind of cancels out any other sound that's trying to enter into your ears, right? And also, when I also be reminded that they're basically jamming infrasound frequencies into your ears too. So that's one of the reasons why I use the in-ear air tube headphones. Also, one thing to keep in mind is that air tube headphones do not have magnets in it, so there is no form of radiation inside the magnets that they can use to basically radiate your brain. Ooh, it's cold. It's like 20 something degrees out here right now. Anyway, all right, this evening, after the bath, it wasn't as cloudy as it was yesterday. Cause as far as the tub, the bath water, after doing it wasn't as cloudy. So I guess after that the first day got most of it out. They normally do their patrols around this time anyway. Kind of caught them from my peripheral. It still felt just as good as yesterday, even though not as much came out. Shortly after rinsing off, step out of the shower, and I start to dry off, the volume of the V2K went down, right? So I couldn't hear them as much. What else? My body felt great. I was just hopping around, skipping, moving very light on my feet. Ooh, the bus. Yes. So shouldn't be worrying about no bullshit this morning. I got the bus already coming. So, let me see. What else? What else? So not as much came out, but you could still see some stuff came out. Now, all right. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna get into is three things, and it came to me because last night they tried to scare me to death in a dream, right? They used Michael Myers. They used Michael Myers to try to basically scare me to death. They put me into a dream manipulation. The dream manipulation, a dream manipulation works on your peripheral nerve system, meaning like you feel just about every ounce of the fear that you allow into you, or that you allow to actually operate within you. If you get hit in a dream manipulation, you feel like you actually been hit. Anything that happens in a dream manipulation, you'll feel it because it works on your peripheral nerve system. So with that being said, as I was going through the dream, I could hear the V2K handlers basically saying, look, he's scared. He's really scared. He's really scared of Michael Myers. Look, he's scared. So, here's one thing you gotta remember. Well, at least 3 things you gotta remember about this whole system, right? Now, remind you when I told you that they claim to be a secret society, right? Now, here's the thing. The one thing that I realized about most secret societies that I've ever researched about, it's always been rooted, always at the very basis of most secret societies, whether the members acknowledge it or not. If you have read the Book of Enoch, or you know anything about the fallen angels, this is one thing that you need to remember. Secret societies only exist because of the fallen angels that came down on earth to teach man the secrets that they weren't supposed to know. Everything that man knows, including how to make weapons, including how to basically read the stars, including how to how to create false senses of beauty. Everything that is wrong with humanity, fallen angels came down from heaven and taught mankind all these things. Hold on, the bus is here. I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna wait till I get on the train. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. Like I was saying, no secret society would truly ever exist if it wasn't for the fallen ones who came down and taught humanity about the things that make them what they are. And all the fallen angels, they basically are empowering Lucifer, or empowering demons and the evil spirits that dwell here on earth. They're empowering them by teaching mankind everything that we're not supposed to know, so that we basically will conduct ourselves in a way that will remove the godliness from us, right? I mean, think about it like this. If you don't have true love, if you don't have the love of God in you, you will be swallowed up by the world and everything that's of it. Everything from, the violence, everything from the promiscuity, the sexual things, from, the abuse of vices, all these different things. These are the things that were taught to humanity by either the fallen ones or any demons or evil spirits that dwell here on this planet. Now, I'm gonna tell you something else, right? I'm gonna tell you something else. 3 things that you need to remember during this whole process, right? Because if you can understand these 3 things, I believe you'll be able to overcome not just only the technology, you'll overcome the psychological aspect of it, and you'll also overcome the spiritual warfare aspect of it. fear, detox, and God. Fear, detox, and God. Not in no real particular order. Because for whatever reason, I think most people will have a harder understanding of the God part. But detox. Actually, no, I'm gonna start with the fear first. Fear is always optional. Fear does not have no real control or basis unless you allow it into your consciousness. If you allow fear into your consciousness, or whatever that you fear, or anything that you give power to, that will rule over you. The fear of death, if you fear dying, then someone will use the concept of death as a tool of fear against you to control you. If you ever have a fear of being alone, someone, especially like someone who, might be considered a significant other, who may be manipulative, they'll try to use the idea that if they leave you, then you won't be able to, I guess, get through life without them. They're trying to put the fear of being alone. If you fear going out and doing things alone, or like, let's say if, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people have this thing where like they project their own, I guess, ways of living on you. So like, a lot of people want to say things like, oh, I couldn't go and do that by myself. And it's like, why? What are you afraid of to do something by yourself? I mean, you were born into this world by yourself. When you were a child, you didn't have any problems with playing by yourself. When you first learned to go to school by yourself, you didn't necessarily have the fear in you. I mean, there's so many things in this world that is operating on the idea of fear. But the one thing you gotta remember, and especially this is the one true thing that you gotta like love about children. Children do not have fear. Anybody can tell you that. Children do not have fear. Fear is learned. It's not until you really like come around adults or older people who teach you to fear things. That's when you start to develop an internalized fear. You will learn fear as you get older. As a child, you just do. And then eventually you learn, well, don't touch the stove because it burns. But it's kind of like when someone tell you, it's like when adults tell a child don't touch the stove, it's hot. It's like they're saying, have fear of the stove because it's hot. But then now all of a sudden the child might actually start to develop, like, if the child can conceptualize the idea that like, okay, the child might conceptualize the idea that I shouldn't go near the stove at all because I might get burned, but they won't actually learn that if they learn that they can actually control what they do around the stove or how they operate the stove, they wouldn't necessarily develop the fear. They'll develop the respect that the stove is hot, but you can still use the stove. So, I mean, I think some people will understand that example. But anyway, the whole point is fear does not work unless you allow it into your consciousness. And they're preying on people's fear. They use simulations and your dream manipulations so they can induce fear into you. They want to try to get you to a point where like they could basically scare you half to death or scare you to death completely. Fear is always an option. Fear is always optional. Second thing, detox. Detox, detox, detox. And I'm not necessarily just only talking about like, detoxing bacteria. I'm talking about heavy metal detox. I'm talking about learning how to detox certain things away from your life. And I mean, like for me, I realized I definitely should. Well, I don't think I'm alcoholic, but I know after work, I like to have like 2 beers after work, but I don't think it's that serious. But I had stopped drinking heavy alcohol for quite some time because I used to have a past where like I wasn't violent, but I'd like if I was in a social setting, I'd like drink to a point where like I would tell myself, oh, I'm just drinking just to get myself mellow, but then I wouldn't be drinking slow enough. It would be like after about like an hour or so, next thing you know, it's like, whoa, I was drinking pretty fast. Now as time goes on, everything starts to like, all the drinks start to finally digest. But learn about detoxing radiation, take detox salt baths. That pose detox or salt baths, it gotta be sea salt, not necessarily Epsom salt. Sea salt and baking soda. Pull the radiation out your body in that way. You can also do violet light detoxes. You can do there are certain things you can take, like activated charcoal is known to bind itself to like debris in the body and dead cells, and just basically naturally remove it from your body. What else? Spirulina. Spirulina is a good thing you can use to help remove toxins and things out the body. Learn about pineal gland detoxes, because pineal gland detoxes, remember when they're spraying this nano technology all over the world, and they're putting it in our foods and everything, these nanobots, they're binding themselves to our nerves and our tissues, and they're collecting the electrical impulses and data from within our body, and they work as transmitters, and they transmit that information to whatever digital cell tower that may be near you, or digital transmitter, base, or they're transmitting it to the satellites that's up above. Learn to detox. Learn about as many forms of ways you can detox as possible. The more you cleanse, the more your body feels better. The more you cleanse, the less effective their technology will be on you. Learn about spike protein detoxes. Spike proteins, I have found that there are certain spike proteins that basically kind of like illuminate the cells in the body that light up from the nervous system. It illuminates it even more, or make the body a lot more penetrable for the infrared light that's beaming down on our bodies. So detox. Lastly, God, the creator of all life, the creator of the entire universe.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
You gotta have something else that you can depend on truly. Because if you try to go through this process by yourself, and always remember, God is in us. God is not just around us, but God is also in us. You can't go through this just by yourself, thinking that you're going to defeat it, all on, I guess, information and knowledge of self and stuff like that. You're going to need to pull your energy from a source that's not necessarily here on earth. You're going to have to pull your energy, your willpower from everything that's, you're going to have to pull your energy from, like, the universe, in a sense. It's interesting because I had just recently rewatched The Green Mile. I had watched The Green Mile like this past Sunday, and the parts where when John Coffey, he like lays his hands. John Coffey lays his hands on the guard, and he laid his hand on the woman, and he was basically like pulling the toxins from everybody's body or wherever they had the sickness at, and then you saw like the light bulbs get brighter, or the scene when he started to suck the cancer out of that woman, the whole house shook, the lights got brighter. John Coffey, I believe, had basically like the power of angels working through him, and he was able to pull energy from around him, like godly energy from around him, to give him that ability to pull sickness out. So it's just like when I tell you about Qigong. Qigong is like the study of your energy and how you can manage and balance and recalibrate your energy so that you can get back in tune with the universe. When let's say, like, even like right now, as they're like attacking my chest, I can place my hand right here, right? I start out, I cup it just like this. This is basically like creating a suction. If I relax myself, I relax my mind, and I focus, I feel the frequency or the energy that they're using against me attach itself to my hand, and then I pull away. My mind is only focused on feeling that energy that is not natural leaving my body. Now that energy is being sucked, is attached to my hand and is being pulled out of my body. What's even more interesting is, as you are pulling the energy from your body, you may feel the frequencies that's being directed to your body actually going through your fingers. Like right now, there's a frequency that's between my thumb and the base of my index finger. I can feel the pulse of the frequency in between my thumb and my index finger. So and always remember, every day that you wake up, every moment that you feel down, just remember you are still here because God has a purpose for you. You are meant to live in this world until the day you actually die, because you have a particular thing about you that God wants you to share with the world. There's something about you that you must share with the world. Every single one of us is born into this world with particular gifts. And then there are some people who are born into this world because, well, they may be descendants of the fallen ones, and that's why a lot of times that's why they're so wicked. But it's not it's not everyone is irreversible. Even though that some people may be just so highly toxic, they may be too far gone. Love and honesty. Love, honesty. Those things can help basically free almost any being on this planet as long as they're willing to, I guess, humble themselves and make themselves aware of what they're doing. I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought. They're probably messing with my memory, but I got the majority of the things that I wanted to say out. Yeah, because as I was speaking, I felt the frequency kind of intensify on in my memory cortex. So on that note, I'm gonna just go ahead and end it there. I said everything that I needed to say. Fear, detox, and God. Fear, detox, and God. Take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.